Yo, yo, yo! Welcome to Study with Street Science, where each and every week we unbox a new science toy and talk about science at the same time. This week, the theme is sunscreen. We're going to be talking about the science of sunscreen, and that's because it's National Skin Cancer Awareness Week. National Skin Cancer Awareness Week. So what better than to learn about sunscreen? So before we get into that, we need to unbox our science toy. And as always, I don't know what's in here, but our producer behind the desk does. Tia, how are you feeling today?
Yes, good, Ken. How are you?
That's good to hear. Good to hear. What have you got for us today? What's about sunscreen? What do you reckon is going to be in here?
I don't know. You have to open it and find out.
We'll open it. What's the bet? There's actually some sunscreen in there. I reckon there might be.
Look, I'm not that lazy. Come on.
If that's what the theme is, that you would hope that maybe that's in there. Okay, let's have a look. All right, here we go. Today we're going to be unboxing. A little bit stiff there. Ooh, we got a bit of a swag in here. Okay, let's have a
We
look.
gave you a bit of money too.
Here we go. We got some $5 dues. I'll spend that in the tuck shop. That
Don't
should be
spend
good.
it yet.
We got these are interesting. I think I know what these are. We got the sunscreen junior just for me. That's pretty
Yes.
good. Yep, that's good. We got our batteries as always, and this one looks pretty interesting. I've never seen this before. This is the money detector LED. So from the looks of it, I'm presuming it detects money is there, or is it possibly
Does it read the note?
does it read the note? I'm not
Read
sure.
the note type?
Or maybe you know how like money sometimes has like secret little messages on there that
Oh yeah, apparently, yeah.
yeah. So maybe this light reveals that secret messaging. So I don't know. Let's unbox it and find out what it is, and then we can talk a little bit more about these things.
Hey Kylie, how's it going?
Oh yeah, our friend Kylie's on board. Always great to see her. Everyone else, tell us how you're feeling while we unbox this toy. No, we're having a pretty fun day. If you're lucky, and you stay to the end, you might even see someone super special. We haven't even talked about me and
Yeah.
Tia haven't even talked about this. But trust me, if this person or
Don't even
I
say it.
won't even say it. I
Don't
won't even say it.
even.
It's not even a okay. I won't even say it. I won't say it anymore.
Stop. You're already
But
spoiling it.
we'll see. We'll
Gosh.
see at the end. We'll see at the end. I'm
That's
I'm
why
not
we
sure
can't
how
have
we're actually
nice
going to do it.
things.
I'm not sure how we're going to do it. Tia, are you going to run
Gosh.
out and
Maybe.
organize that?
Maybe.
All right. So
Can do.
money detector LED. It says the banknotes in many countries have invisible patterns. As long as they are illuminated with a money detector LED, the invisible patterns will be displayed so that they can be used to prevent counterfeiting. Uh, and this is because the invisible patterns are printed with special inks and they will fluoresce under the irradiation of ultraviolet rays. Now, that probably makes sense because what you don't see in here is underneath my desk. I did notice that we have this big blasting a light, which is our UV blacklight. So we're putting. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Should we set that up as a permanent party disco display up on our
Ooh.
structure up here? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? All right. So it also says if you've got a fluorescent pen, you can write secret messaging. Oh, we that would have been good if we had one of them. We'll have to track one of them down so we can try that.
I'm sure there's some in the warehouse, like highlighters.
Yeah, yep. And
Fluorescent.
oh yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe we can track them out. And then we also got some people's shirts or fabrics can also fluoresce under UV light. And I think white is a really good example of that because like watch this. Like, is that looking fluorescy? That's pretty banging. That's pretty good. I like that.
Kylie already spoke. Set it up as a permanent party light.
Permanent party light.
You
Okay.
heard it here, folks. Kylie said so.
We'll get some like neon zinc paint or something. I think that'll be cool.
Gosh.
Put like some cool messaging that if you get to the end of the episode, we'll turn it on and get it go flashing. Um, all right, so a little bit more instruction there, but I think this one there's actually no instructions on how to build it, but it does look pretty basic to tell you the truth.
I think
And
it's
I
already assembled for you.
it's pretty much already pretty close. And I think that's why today we've got these extra little bits, because I think we're going to do some experimentation with these extra bits instead. So let's try and go ahead and build this first. See how this UV light works, because we can see if the money detector works with the money note, but if it doesn't, we've got the big bad boy light just in case if we need it, which I think we'll just use anyway, because why not? So it looks like these circuits need to go this way, and I'm not sure if you need to get the circuitry right positioning wise. Sure, it'll tell me if it doesn't work. Let's chuck these in here at the same time. Now, I think UV inks are not only just on money. Where else have you seen UV inks, Tia? Anything come to mind? You on traveling at all? Internationally?
Yes. Not broadly, but yes.
Yeah. What do you do when you travel internationally? What's the first thing that you always pack?
Go on a plane. I don't know.
What do you always pack when you go?
Sunscreen. What?
Good. That's
Asking me.
good that you have sunscreen. I was
Oh,
thinking more like if you're going internationally, what's the one thing that you pack?
passport.
Passport. Yes, passport. Have you ever gone into like the customs area and they always like scan it with a little lights?
Yes.
So that's another example of UV inks in action. Cool. All right, we've got it assembled. This is like super quick toy. I think we're gonna last our 30 minutes in
You
record time.
basically like saved 24 minutes for once. That's awesome.
Why can't we just do these toys more often? This would be like so good. All right, let's see if it works. Oh man, it doesn't work.
What? No, it doesn't work. Did you connect it properly?
Wait, let me have a look. Maybe there's
Maybe
something about maybe this has to get maybe this would change it. Okay. Unless it's like so secret that it doesn't even the light doesn't even show up. That doesn't work. Okay, so just around.
How is it supposed to read? Well, yeah, there's a light on it. Oh no, this is
look like it's working
bust.
at all.
Oh no.
Okay, let me just check. I put the batteries another way. Whoa! What was
Wait.
that?
Oh,
Can
it's
you see
just a
that?
terminal issue.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, just dodge.
Oh, wait. Okay.
Or did you put it?
Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, cool. Just the battery was slightly misaligned. Okay, that looks pretty purpley. All right, so moment of truth. Should we see if there's any secret markers on here?
For sure.
Do we think we need to turn the lights off or anything? I don't know if it's gonna work. Should we get
Turn
some
the
mood
front
lighting?
lights off.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Can you see any cool special ink? I don't know. Can you see any special cool ink?
All I see is Braille.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Oh.
Check out this
You
bit
meant
here.
to tilt it.
See this bit here?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there's nothing there. But when you put one of these lights on there, can you see it?
Wow.
Yeah, I'll bring it up closer.
Oh wow. Nice.
Go back up.
Yeah.
Wait for it to zoom. Come on, zoom in.
Oh.
Main screen. Give me some zoom. Is it gonna work?
Oh my gosh, hang on. It's supposed to focus.
Hey camera, is it gonna work? Okay, what if we go to this one? We'll go to B cam. Here, I'm gonna come around, get a good close up.
Yeah, it's pretty shallow at the moment. You should
Will this work?
definitely. Yep. Just take it back just a little bit. There
Here
you
we
go.
go. Okay, let's see if this one works. Whoop, you see
Yeah, you
it?
can see that.
Look at that. It says 2019, which must be the year
That the note was produced.
made in. Is there any other secret message months? Let's have a look. I don't know. Sort of hard trying to look in a camera and figure out
What else would they need to hide in UV ink, though, is my question.
What if it's like some secret troll message that the money making people put in there? What do you call a money maker person? Like what is that as a job? Should we find out?
Doesn't machines print money?
Well,
isn't there a machine?
The mint man? What do you reckon?
What?
Like, who is a career job title working at the mint? Like what is that as a career job? Because surely there's people out there making money and making cool messages.
No, I reckon it's a machine. I'm gonna be boring and say it's a machine.
Someone could be running the machine.
Well, yeah.
Careers in the mint industry.
Wasn't there a movie from like the 90s or early 2000s about like a money-making place, and then the people broke into it so they could steal the money being printed? Wasn't there a movie about that?
It
It was a comedy movie.
Sounds pretty.
I remember it vaguely from a late night many years ago.
Huh? Interesting.
It was a very funny movie.
We'll have to look that one up. If you do know that movie, put it in the comments,
Comment.
and then we can check it out on Netflix. But apparently, so I've just looked up the Royal Australian Mint and looked at the careers page, and there is a wide variety of employment opportunities, including mechanical, including tool making and machine trades, engineering, electricians, manufacturing, facilities management, logistics, dispatch and packaging, customer services, education and business services, HR, finance, IT, coin and graphic design, plus communications. So,
What do you mean coin design? The coins have stayed the same.
yeah, but someone's going to design it, right?
What?
So,
Coins have
and
stayed
they
the
make
same.
those
Rare ones.
celebratory ones. What do they call, like, yearly?
Remembrance. Oh no, like Anzac Day and all those ones.
Yeah,
They do it
yeah,
for everything.
yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, let's do one more thing. Let's just double check because that's a pretty soft light. Let's try the big bad boy.
All right, let's do the front.
Is this like even?
Oh my god!
Just like overblow it. Here we go.
Blowing
Go to
studio up.
Zoom game. Okay. Can you still see it, or is it on this side?
It's completely
Oh, there it is.
overblown.
There it is. Oh, you can't see it here.
Oh, you can see it, but it's not as clear as having the contrast of the shadow and the behind it because you're just overblowing it.
Okay, so there is one extra thing I've
Oh.
realized is this bird. Can you see it?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I'll try and cover it up. Then.
Oh, there you go.
See that bird there? There's a second bird under the other bird. Interesting. There you go. That's what a $5 note is. Next time we'll try and be more rich and bring in more
$100 bill.
More different variety of notes. But we're on a bit of a lean budget at the moment, so $5, that's all we can afford. All right, that's cool. But as I said before, the theme for today is not about coins, it's about sunscreen. And the tie-in is the ultraviolet light. So these black lights essentially create a very low form energy of ultraviolet radiation. Now, how does that tie in with sunscreen and why is that important? Tia, what do you know about sunscreen, or what is the purpose of sunscreen?
To prevent you from getting skin cancer.
True. What else does it do?
It also protects your skin from aging.
Yep, perfect. What else does it do?
You take it to the beach.
That is true. What about what's more immediate term if you don't use sunscreen?
Sunburn.
Sunburn, that's it. Yep, that's the other.
Wow, I said everything else besides the obvious choice.
The most ones that you will feel if you don't do it. Yes. So do you know why your skin will burn if you go in the sun without sunscreen? Or at least for me and you who are quite white in complexion.
Wait, re-ask the question. What will happen?
Yeah, do you know why our skin burns?
I have no idea.
No idea.
Truly no idea.
Awesome. All right, let's try and dive into it a bit. Okay, so we've got the sun here, right?
Yeah.
He's billions, millions, billions kilometers away. I'm not sure how far it is. Okay, that's not my size, but it's producing lots of energy, and in that is a couple of different forms of light. And you have the visible light that you can see, so that's like the reds and blues and colors of the rainbow. Then you also have these two other bits of energy waves as well. You've got the infrared and then the ultraviolet light. And basically these are all, in terms of the waves of energy, they come in different sort of like intensities. So when it comes to the visible light, the wave of the energy is a little bit more dispersed and not harmful to us. And that's why, we can see it and, we're not getting burnt in the office or, day to day. And then on the other side, you've got the infrared, which is even less stronger. So that's even less damaging to you because it's even weaker. And then you've got like radio waves, and they're even less intense. So basically, how squished they are and how high they are determine like how harmful they would be to you. And then the ultraviolet is a lot more intenser and has a lot more energy packed into it. And so in this area here, this is the ultraviolet range, is that sort of like harmful energy that can burn your skin.
Mhm.
Now in UV itself, there's actually 3 different categories: UVA, UVB, and UVC. And I think it's the UVC or the A. One of the sides basically gets fully absorbed by the Earth's atmosphere, so they don't even hit you.
It's UVC.
UVC, is that the one that?
Because when you look at sunscreens, you look at UVA and UVB broad spectrum sunscreen.
Yes, perfectly.
So
Oh, look at that.
I ain't no expert, but
Yeah, you got perfect.
UVC,
Look at that. Look at that.
yeah,
Tia is perfectly right. Look at that. See, I did
can for
skin cancer research. This one. Oh, this one.
this one.
So it says, just like Tia said, UVA and UVB broad spectrum. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have UVC protection because that's what the atmosphere does. You
Yes.
pick up, Tia. So we get the UVA and the UVB, and that gets through into the
Mhm.
atmosphere and can hit us. And both of these can have an impact on our skin.
Mhm.
Probably more so the UVB, but definitely UVA can have some effect. So what is that actually doing to our skin? Well,
Oh well. Yeah. Don't know.
what it really is doing is inside of our cells, and this is more so on the areas that are exposed to the sun, so like skin cells. We have our cells, and in there we've got the nucleus, and inside there is our DNA. Now, the DNA is the coding that tells us who we are as people, has all the instructions of how our whole body works. And what happens is the UVB can strike in here and actually cause mutations in your DNA.
Mhm.
And if you get mutations in the certain parts of important genes inside the DNA, that can have long-term effects, and that's what can lead to the cause of cancer. But
Right.
in the short term, what happens is that when you get all these little mutations starting to occur from the ultraviolet radiation, it can cause an immune response, where then the immune cells come in and they think that, oh no, this cell's getting damaged. It looks like it's putting out all these stress markers because there's lots of mutations happening. We need to go in and kill it and get rid of it, basically. And that's what sort of like eventually causes all that sort of like pus if you get a really bad case of sunburn. Basically because you're killing off your cells, they're just going into shock, and then the immune cells are starting to cause an immune reaction to like help clean it up. And that's how you get fried with the sunburn in the short
Right.
term. And while that heals, that's okay. But some of those cells deep in the skin, if they keep those mutations, now you've got, if this is your layer of skin, you've maybe had a bit of sunburn. Let's say if this is your skin, you've got 3 mutations that you picked up, but you probably would have picked up thousands, if not millions of mutations across your whole skin because there's so many cells there. But say, for example, the sunburn happens, maybe you kill off 1 or 2 of these, but you've got 1 cell still here with those mutations in there. Then the next time you get sun damage, you might get another mutation, and then sometimes just pure chance by statistics that if you get enough mutations in the right genes, then that's what causes the skin cancer. And then the cells start to
Mhm.
divide and divide and divide, and that's where you can then get a skin cancer starting to form. So that's why we use sunscreen, not only to avoid sunburn, but then to prevent these skin cancers from happening. And for us here in Australia, particularly those who have very white or light colored skin, we burn a lot more easier. Now, do you know why that is, Tia?
Does it have to do with skin pigmentation?
Skin pigmentation, exactly right. So obviously everyone has a different colored skin complexion,
Yes.
and I'm definitely more pastier white than you are, Tia.
Yes.
uh, but what happens in here is that if you did a cross section of your skin, there's actually a couple of different types of skin cells that are in there.
Mhm.
But and you've got a couple of different layers of skin as well. So like the top layer is actually like dead skin cells, and then you've got a layer of healthier cells, which basically as they dry out and die off, and that's sort of like why you have that constant like flaky skin, or flaky skin is probably not the greatest definition, but you know how it's with forensics you can always detect DNA and stuff like that. It's because these cells can pop out because they're sort
Right.
of dead. The other question you might have is like, why are these dying off, and why do you want that? Well, obviously we do a lot of things with our hands, and so they need to heal and repair quite quickly. So has been an evolutionarily designed effect to be able to accommodate for that. And our
Mm.
skin, as the largest organ, does quite a lot, so it needs to have this layer of protection as well that protects the body from bad organisms. And this layer of dead skin cells is how our body has adapted to do that. Um,
Mhm.
but what you also have is down here, you've got these cells called melanocytes. Have you ever heard what a melanocyte is?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Okay, cool. So they occur about 1 in every 50 other skin cells,
Right.
and they're called melanocytes. And these are the pigment producing cells in the skin. So their role is that once UVB or UVA hits them, they release little packages of melanin, which is pigment, and they are responsible for making the color in your skin. Now, for people who have naturally dark skin, these are like constantly turned on and they're constantly producing melanin, and that's why you have that dark skin complexion. But for those of us who are lighter skin, they're not very active, but they can be activated by the UVB. So this is why if you do sun tanning, that over time, by repetitive UVB exposure, you're activating these cells to produce that melanin pigment that then makes your skin darker. Now, not everyone can tan, but in either case, if you're trying to tan, what do you think the impact of that on your skin cells are if you're trying to tan?
Uh, if you're doing it repetitively, I assume it'd weaken your barriers and then thus make you more susceptible to skin cancer and whatnot.
Exactly, yeah. So the more UVB you have, or more UV or sun exposure, the more mutations you're causing
Yeah.
in all of those different cells. So that's why we say, like you might have heard, there's nothing healthy about a tan. And the reason for that is that basically to get that tan, you're causing immense amounts of mutation and damage, which may not have an impact on you, immediately, but in 20 or 30 years' time, you'll just have you'll increase your chance quite significantly of all these like skin cancers popping up, which is pretty crazy. So how long are we doing for time, by the way? 'Cause that
We're
was
at
a long chat.
22 minutes.
22 minutes. Cool. We've got 8 minutes to try a cool little experiment.
Yes.
Um, so to show that in a little bit more detail, we got these bad boys here. Do you know what these are, Tia?
UV beads.
UV beads, that's right. Which means if you expose these beads to ultraviolet light, they will change color. So let's just pour out a few here. I don't know if this will work. Let's try this. Let's see if a bead, one of these beads will change on this.
Well, if it's small.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. Okay, so
Do you want me to
these
turn the
beads are
lights off?
yeah, that might be a good idea. These beads are pretty clear, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then when you've exposed it, you can see how now
Yeah,
it's
look at that.
very purple. So if you expose all of this, you might have to wait there. I could bring out the big bad boy, but it'll probably make all my UV beads change. There you go, look at that. See how they change color?
Right.
So there's a couple of different colored beads in there, some pinks and some purples. And what will happen is that the pigment inside these beads react to that ultraviolet light, this very low form of ultraviolet light, and change color. But what happens is that that pigment is being excited by that energy that causes that color change. But then once you remove that light, the intensity or the energy supplied is no longer there, and that's when the beads go back to clear. So these revert back to the norm, which is pretty cool. So I thought I would do a bit of an experiment and see what sunscreen can do to protect you from ultraviolet light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab two of these little domes, and we're going to do the experiment right here. So I'm going to put one pile of beads here. This will be our control. Hopefully by the time we do the experiment, all those colorful beads will be different, back to being clear. We'll do another pile here, and this is our will be our treatment treatment arm of our experiment. So this one will have no sunscreen. Actually, I'll look at this way so you can see. This one will have no sunscreen, and this one will have sunscreen. So I'm going to grab some of this. I'm going to chuck this on here. That was a lot more than I was hoping.
Bit on just to like emphasize the point.
We really want to now
make sure that they're protected.
Yeah. These are going to be very well protected beads. Now I'm going to put this over here. Now, obviously, our skin isn't plastic, and sunscreen isn't designed for plastic.
No.
So you can sort of see it's not really absorbing in properly. I did have one type of sunscreen. The last sunscreen I used definitely worked, but I don't think this one works as good. I had one sunscreen that did absorb, but this one seems to be not. But let's chuck that in there, and I'm going to put the rest over here. All right, I'm all protected now from the blasting UV lights that are about to come out. Let's put our sunscreen over here. Cool. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this big black light. We'll get the big black light out. This one here. I won't point it at it yet. I'm going to point it at our experiment just for a second or two. You'll see this change, the color change on this one, and then we'll reveal to see what happens with this one and see if there's any difference. So I'm only going to do it for a short amount of time because this light's pretty strong. So I'm going to quickly blast it, get a bit of a color. Whoosh. All right, cool. And so you can definitely see that this one has changed. And what does this one look like? Look at that.
Wow.
Completely different. And that was like a quick sort of burst. Now, this isn't like the greatest experiment in the sense that we've got a lot of whiteness over here. Tia, do you know why that wouldn't be a great control experiment?
It isn't human cells.
That's true. It's not human cells. But what's the difference between this and this? Obviously, there's sunscreen on one. But what else is different between these two?
Don't know.
What about the color? There's something different with the color
Oh, the beads.
of this versus this.
Oh yeah, one's completely white
That's right.
from the sunscreen. Yeah, sunscreen.
And one's sort of very clear.
Yep.
And so obviously from a controlled point of view, you would want to have this one to be sort of translucent as well as this one translucent. Whereas here, the reason why possibly, just to like get all sciencey, that it didn't cause a UV light to come through is because there is like a film of like, white color over it rather than the actual protective effects of the UV sunscreen. Does that make sense? I don't know if I explained that.
No, that makes sense.
Does that make sense? So when I did this experiment another time, I think I had a different formulation of sunscreen that it did absorb, so they both looked sort of clear, and then that would look like more of a fair test experiment. The other thing would be is like if you had an example of this sunscreen without the active ingredient in it, you could put that on there, have the similar looking, haziness, but then one had the active ingredient and one that didn't. So to finish up here, you're probably thinking, Ken, what are you doing putting things on here? I had mentioned at the start of the episode that we might have a special guest. And Tia,
Yes.
do you want to go up and see if we can have our special guest join us?
Can do.
And I will talk about the active ingredients in sunscreen while you do that. Cool. Cool. I'm gonna look down this way. So what is the active ingredients in sunscreen? So you might have gone to the shops and you might have seen, different types of sunscreen, and they come at different levels of expense. And it's not just because of the brand. Sometimes there actually is a difference in the active chemical. So a lot of the cheaper sunscreens will have more of these artificial chemical-based ingredients. I think one of the main ones is octyl salicylate, I think it is, which is a chemical-based approach to stopping the UVBs from interacting with your skin. Sorry, UV light, UV rays from interacting with you, not UVBs. But then you can also get other more natural-based sunscreens. So You might have heard of zinc sunscreen, like, if you used to have those like color ones they used to put on there. You can also get zinc-based ones that look more like this white color that have been a bit more broken up and not had the color added. They're actually naturally based sunscreens, so they use zinc as the chemical bar chemical barrier that stops the UV light from hitting it. Oh, I think we might have our guest here. We might have our guest here. So we've got Laura coming in with her special little guest that we did mention. Now, the reason we made this little thing is because we've got a special guest here at Street Science headquarters, and she's going to come in and have a look at this. Do we have a name for it?
Kitty.
Oh, little kitty, kitty. Can we give her a little? Let's give her a little UV bead necklace. See how this goes. Yeah. Can put it down here. There we go. Check that out. Put a little thing there. Whoop, there we go. Oh, look at that. Now we know our little kitty, our Street Science kitty, is totally safe from the sun, and she'll know when sunscreen's having. Fun fact. Did you know the hair on your body or the hair on a cat is equivalent to SPF 15 sunscreen? There you go. That's why cats don't get sunburned on their body. And some of you shouldn't be saved. Yep.
Shave.
And I think, yeah, if you do get skin cancers on cats or dogs, it's because they're usually getting it around their paws or their mouth region usually, or their nose, I think is the other area. But there you go. That is it. That has been our study with Street Science, all about sunscreen, skin cancer, and money, and people who make money. We've got our kitty cat kitty, Laura, Tia. I'm so glad that everyone joined us. Please join us next week for Study with Street Science. We will see you there. Have some seriously fun science. See you later.